What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome to Not Your Status Quo. Tonight, we are talking Andor, Episode 9. Nobody's listening. Is that the title of our stream? I hope not. It is the autobiographical story of my life. But we're also going to be playing a little Gotham Knights, thanks to a Twitter poll that we had earlier today. But before we actually... Happy 5th anniversary, guys. This is the 5th anniversary of our channel. We've been making our first YouTube video was 5 years ago today, Thor Ragnarok review at the theater. We didn't call it the at the theater spoiler-filled review, but that's what it was. That's what it evolved into being. But before we get into all that, Dave, Doug, how is it going, gentlemen?
Well, I am grand. I got nothing else to say. I just can't wait to start reviewing Andor again. Doug, how are you?
Well, Dave, let me tell you, I am outstanding. Happy 5th anniversary to you two gentlemen. Dave, Keith, I am glad that you started Not Your Status Quo all those years ago. And when you decided to say, hey, you know what? Let's talk into a camera and tell the world what we think about Thor Ragnarok. I think that is great, and I thank you both for bringing me onto the channel whenever that was. Numbers are hard, and I am not a math wizard. But I am also looking forward to talking about Andor. Love the show. Keeps getting better and better, and I can't wait to see Keith die in Gotham Knights a few times. So, without further ado, Keith, sir, how are you?
Well, gentlemen, on this wonderful 5th anniversary, I am tremendous. I'm feeling good. I cannot wait to talk about Andor. The show just continues. It's high quality, just so good. I mean, I hate when it's over because I just want it to keep going. I wish there was a 24-hour Andor channel where we could just watch them sleeping at night because I'm sure the tension would still be there. And it's just awesome. And I loved, I did love that you went to a comic book store today, got yourself a Star Wars comic and a bubble tea. What I'm not happy about, sick invite, bro. You don't think I wanted to go to State of Comics and get a bubble tea?
Now, Keith, I was also going to get my hair cut, and I know that you get antsy sitting still for that long. So, you know, I had to weigh my options.
Yeah, my wife said I needed my hair cut today.
Which one?
Not sure.
Literally. I mean, 2 of us don't have hair.
I'm starting to get to that point where I think I may have to go the Dave route and just start shaving my head. Because, well, you'll see, 5 years ago today, when we show our first YouTube video, our Thor Ragnarok review, I had a lot more darker hair and no goatee. I look like it's weird. My son's 6. And I look like I've aged 20 years in the last 5 years.
Something children gray hair?
probably just a coincidence. But
I'm guessing I probably look about the same because you can't tell with a bald guy.
No, you do look the same. I was watching it and I'm like, damn, Dave hasn't changed a bit.
You know what I should have done before we actually did this? I should have downloaded the first video and then green screened myself in the back, just like walking behind you guys.
Nodding your head when we say stuff.
Right.
I think we may have even gone, just me and Keith, on that movie.
No, there was someone else there.
Oh, someone else had to hold the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, and I know who it was. Not going to mention that.
Oh.
She who will not be named.
Oh my. Well. Now I think I know what you're talking about.
Just ask Tavian. He had thoughts for them. But.
Tavian. No, that was the worst thing he could have said in that moment.
Yes, it was. But hey, gentlemen, you want to start talking Andor? Or should we go? What should we do first? Should we talk Andor? Or should we show that video from 5 years ago? Or should
Let's take a look at the video from 5 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Let's start off
get the embarrassment over with quickly.
So with a good old celebration.
Okay, you'll see that we didn't have any beginning screen. We didn't have any logos.
It just
We
starts right
basically
off.
had nothing. It started, we decided it'd be great, and that is Phoenix Theaters in Livonia that we're talking.
Doing a selfie style here.
Yeah.
No, that's actually in his mom's bed. Hey, we
I
did
love
have
that it's
some.
just like hard cuts to clips, no music.
Look at that. Look how young I look. Look at that. Oh my God.
I still have that jacket.
Do you?
Yeah.
I still have that
You wanna see
jacket
it?
too. I think we're good. But we both loved it. I still love this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not. It was like, well, the movie before it wasn't so good, and we were kind of like lukewarm on it. And then this came out, and I was like, oh, thank God. But I don't remember what the movie that was before this was.
So you guys didn't the last movie that you saw before this one, that you didn't feel like you're like, oh no, it's not time for Night of Status Quo.
Well, the movie before that, unless it was a DC movie, was Spider-Man: Homecoming in the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
It might have been a DC movie then.
Yeah, it must have been. Well, Justice League came out right after it because I think we did Justice League was our second video.
Oh my, I'm sorry.
No, I didn't hate it. It wasn't Morbius to me.
It wasn't Morbius.
Look, I was even
Yeah.
saying, telling people to subscribe. I knew enough to tell them to subscribe.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. We started off good. That has
That
like
was it,
almost
huh?
200 views. That was the whole video.
I love it.
And it got 200 views. Nice. That's pretty good for being your first video.
Yeah, it didn't have a lot when we first did it. But I think people went in, friends of ours went in and watched it just to be nice and, things like that as we learned and progressed and got so much better. It's funny because the story behind why Dave and I did this, we worked together, obviously. Doug works at the same company, and we had offices right next to each other. And every morning, Dave would come into my office, or I'd go into his office, and we'd just chat about comic books, Smallville, especially when Dave loaned me all of his Smallville DVDs and Blu-rays, and I was watching the entire thing. We would talk every morning about it, and he was like, we should just do a blog or something on this. And I was like, sounds good to me, and we actually started writing articles for a blog. But I hate writing.
Which no longer exists.
True, which no longer exists. And we were seeing movies, and I don't remember, we saw Captain America and Captain America: The Winter Soldier in theaters.
Yep.
I think we saw
AMC.
Yeah, I think we saw Spider-Man: Homecoming. Saw Guardians Volume 2 together. And then we were at, Thor Ragnarok. And Dave, in his infinite wisdom, was like, let's just film this and put it on YouTube.
Now,
Who
had
cares?
the channel already been created at that point, or did you have to then go and create the channel?
We
We
had
created it. Well, we had our own. Well, no, we still have the blog page.
we did have, it was already created, but we were hemming and hawing about what video to do first and all that. And then
Okay.
we just did it because we had a different channel that got. We weren't very
Yep.
smart. We weren't very YouTube savvy at that point. And basically, what I was doing to try to help promote our channel before we started doing our own videos, I was downloading trailers and uploading them on our channel. Other big channels do
Just a
it.
direct re-upload?
Yes.
In his defense,
Uh-oh.
there's other channels that do that and they get away with it. So
Uh-huh.
we didn't know. We thought maybe we could too.
And yeah, they just put the ban hammer on us. And I even said, listen, I didn't know we couldn't do this. I saw other channels that, there's like a way to fight it. And I said, we won't do it again, knowing this. But they were like, nope, you lost your channel forever. So we had to create a new one.
Was it also called Not Your Status Quo, or was it something else?
Just a different email.
Ah,
And that's the story of Not Your Status Quo. Two young
know.
gentlemen.
love it. Was there any now, how did the name come to you, Dave?
It didn't. this other person that we won't name was uh, actually made that her suggestion, and we both liked it, so we went with it.
Wow. All right. Well, at least something good came out of it, I
Any
guess.
copyright lawyers watching this? Dave came up with it on his own.
Yes.
Yeah, I told her to say it.
It was a stroke of wisdom.
Yes. It's okay. It's already trademarked.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I am
Well-
very happy that you guys both decided that, you know what, we're gonna shoot our shot. We're gonna record this video. And I have to ask now, after all these years, you said that you still enjoy it, it's still great, but now that we've established the Doug scale, what would you rate today Thor Ragnarok on the Doug scale?
All right. The Doug scale, with 5 being average,
Mm-hmm.
I am going to go Thor Ragnarok as an 8.5.
Okay.
It's still, and the thing is, it holds up to this day. I always say at the theater reviews, hey, it was pretty good. Let's see how it holds up over time. Some movies don't. Aquaman, things like that. I think of,
Yeah.
but
I
was watching-
walking out of Aquaman thinking that was great.
but I watched Thor Ragnarok again a couple weeks ago, and it was still very entertaining, and I enjoyed it. It's much better than Thor: Love and Thunder, which is still okay, but definitely is the
I have
weaker
to-
of the Taika Waititi Thor movies.
On the Doug scale for me, I'd probably rate it at about a 7.
Yeah.
You know, I liked it. It was above average, but I didn't love it. So love it for me would be like over 8. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Like a Spider-Man
That's-
No Way Home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do
Oh,
agree.
yeah.
I do agree with you, Keith, that it does have a lot of rewatchability. I will also agree with you, Dave, in the fact that it was amazing. I'd say the first time that I saw it, when I saw it in theaters, I was blown away with how good it was. Especially coming off of, like having seen the last Thor movie, Dark World, Dark Fate, whatever the hell it was.
What are you talking about? It was Thor, and then Thor Ragnarok, and then Thor: Love and Thunder.
Well, without it, we wouldn't have the ether.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, that is true. They did somehow like make it useful for something by making an Infinity Stone out of that. But
Right.
yeah, I remember seeing that, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is a really friggin' good movie."
Yeah, it was definitely a step up from the previous.
But yeah, I still think, like, if I ever do, like, the whole like Infinity Saga rewatch, I definitely will. I definitely include that in my watch through as like the one that I definitely want to get to.
It's funny because, Dave and I did do the Road to Infinity War, rewatching up to Avengers Infinity War, which is not the first 3 phases. But I laughed because there was like 23 total movies in phases 1 through 3. And there was like 15 in phase 4 with, 15 different projects, with a bunch of them being Disney
Yeah.
Plus shows, which are like 6 hours basically of content. Rewatching phase 4 would take a whole lot of time.
Yeah, it would.
Not much I would want to rewatch in Phase 4, to be honest.
Hawkeye, looking at this, as long as I turned it off before the post-credit scene in the last
Oh
episode.
no! That's the only episode that you rewatch is the last episode, and then you turn up the volume for that end credit scene.
See, for me, WandaVision I think would be a good rewatch. I want to rewatch that again, especially before Agatha House or Coven of Chaos. And Falcon and the Winter Soldier I'd probably watch again. There was some quality there. Loki I would definitely watch again, even if it's just to see He Who Remains at the end of that, because that was great. Black Widow, I could do without. Shang-Chi, rewatchable.
I went.
Oh,
I
I
literally,
think I'd rewatch
I did it
that.
again. Oh my god, we literally were just talking about Black Widow, and I immediately forgot that it existed again. Jeez, I'm the worst with that movie.
Yeah, it's a pretty humdrum, if you know what I mean.
You know what else I forgot
Very
existed
forgettable.
until I went to the comic book store today? Eternals.
Yeah, that's another one.
I forgot about that movie, but they've got an Eternals comic that came out. I think it's a new one. I
It
don't
is.
remember which issue
They're
they were.
probably better than the movie, but you know, it's
Probably.
just there's 2 movies in Phase 4 that are completely forgettable right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they definitely could have done better on the Eternals. There was some good stuff, but it overall was not their best. Hawkeye, which I enjoyed. Spider-Man No Way
Okay, was
Home,
good.
which is probably the best of Phase 4.
Spider-Man No Way Home was.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Chef's kiss.
And then,
Absolutely.
oh, absolutely. And then we had Carrie and Dave's favorite, Moon Knight, followed by Doctor Strange into Multiverse of Madness. Then we had Miss Marvel, Thor: Love and Thunder, She-Hulk, Werewolf by Night, and then coming in next week, which 1 week from tonight we will be seeing in theaters on the big screen, the Super IMAX, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Really looking forward to that.
Yep, we'll probably have our little Theory Palooza Sunday night about it. So make sure you tune in Sunday night and what we think's going to happen in it. Obviously, we had talked previously that Doctor Doom may show up in the post-credit scene. That has now been debunked, unless they just didn't put that credit scene in the premiere. But the producer has come out and said there's no other post-credit scene. He said this was a very personal movie, you know, with the passing of Chadwick Boseman, and we didn't want to put anything in there to kind of take away from that. So we're not going to see Doctor Doom as much as we would all love to, but he'll show up someday.
You know what? Give him some time. Give him his space to be able to breathe in a film. Wakanda Forever is probably going to be chock full of characters. Like we've got, Ironheart that has to have her whole backstory. We need to have Shuri becoming the new Black Panther. So there's already going to be enough going on.
Very true. And the more...
I'd be fine if they didn't.
I hope to spend enough time on their backstories too. I mean, even like a concentrated 15 minutes would be a good time to set up a character like Riri Williams. You know, we could understand what's going on if they just concentrate on her for that long. So,
especially since we know she's getting her own show later on Disney Plus. Introduce her, give her some character, some depth. You don't have to, you know. And it is 2 hours and 41 minutes.
Yeah, so they got plenty of time to do
Yes.
it.
Good. Awesome. All right. As long as they use the time wisely.
Yep. But let's talk Andor Episode 9, gentlemen.
Yes.
With the wonderful title, Nobody's Listening! Exclamation point. Which, first off, I'm still mad at the ISB agent for what she did to Bix. You know, they have turned that character into... I thought they were going to make her, while she was working for the Empire, I thought they were going to make her sort of sympathetic. Like, this is her job, but man, she is cold-hearted and just... She enjoys the fascism that the Empire is. She's happy to be a part of it. And man, I did not expect that kind of depth from that character. But man, I despise her. It's like Joffrey in Game of Thrones. I just like...
And
dude,
she
was hard to read at first.
What's with Cyril? Is that his name? I can't.
Cyril, yeah.
Oh yeah, was that?
What is with him? Like he was almost. Was it just me, or was he kind of like getting off talking to her like, yes, oh, step on me with your justice boot.
Yes, that is definitely his kink, without a question. And I thought
he was gonna at the end. I thought he was gonna break off and say, "Well, yeah, I really need you. I want to be part of your team," but he didn't because of that. I think that was intentional, sexual tension between those two.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was going
to turn him down now. She won't turn him down.
I don't know if she's into him.
I think she might be, but she is too afraid to show any emotion. Yeah.
That's why she's putting him through the ringer because he's got to earn it. You know, she's gonna make him earn it,
and he likes it. So they're like a perfect match.
Yeah.
But she doesn't want to give any credit too. It's funny because also in this episode, I think they were setting up a little bit. Did you notice her assistant kind of started stepping up and being more vocal, especially in that room? I think she is a little ticked off at him for stealing her thunder.
Accident.
Yep. And I think Cyril may be stepping into those roles. I think they're setting up him joining her team pretty nicely without
That
rushing
I
it.
could see because he knows his place.
Yeah, they definitely aren't rushing anything. They're spending the right amount of time on each topic.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, like the development for I can't think of the actor's name, Andy Serkis. The development for Andy Serkis' character is amazing, and he's only been on what 2 episodes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we've watched him like
And
go through a whole character arc. It's great.
yeah, and he's already ready. Like at the very end of the episode, at least no more than 12 on any floor. He wouldn't give up that information before, and just sees the guy kill him because they don't want to deal with him. He can't recover from his stroke because you know what? Fuck it. He's a prisoner. Who cares? Kill him.
Now, Dave, I got to ask, what sort of horrible space lava related accident is going to happen to him that'll eventually turn him into Snoke?
I don't know. I think he's going to get caught somewhere. He's going to find the pods where they have cloned the Emperor, and he's going to slip into one of them. And that'll be it.
Is that how the clones were supposed to turn out? Huh.
No, that one's weird.
Oh, I gotta
working though.
I gotta hide. I'll just climb in here with the Palpatine clone.
Oh, here they go.
But you're right. It was something. This whole episode, Cassian was just so great in this. He just would not stop. How many guards? How many guards? How many guards? Listen, you're doing this. And then, Kino was just like, you better shut up. Seriously, enough. We're done with it. He was getting pissed until that nice scene. Well, I don't think it was nice. But the well-acted and well-written scene where the guy dies and, the doctor's just like, we're just going to kill him. Nothing we can do for him. He's just dead. He can't help us anymore, basically. And then when they ask what happened on level 2, and he finds out, they made the mistake of, a guy was released and put back to level 2 or whatever, and they had to kill everybody on the floor. So information didn't get out, even though it still did. And when he realized he's never getting out of there, he was like, I can be a good leader, a follower here, do what they're asking me to do because I know I'm going to get out in however many years it was. And that's what propelled him to get through. And as soon as that was taken away, he completely changed his story. And man, that was incredibly well done.
You know what this reminded me of, though? Was Shawshank Redemption and when Andy Dufresne decided to escape Shawshank. It was kind of almost the same idea because the one thing that a lot of them held on to was, well, when they were still fresh in, a lot of them held hope on that, well, one day we're going to get out of here. And Andy knew one day he was going to get out of there. And once the warden basically told him, no, you're too valuable to me for you to ever get out. I think that was what finally flipped the switch in him. And he's like, I got to make this plan. I got to get the hell out of here. And I think that's what finally happened with
Kino.
Oh my God, name.
Kino,
yeah. I think that's what happened with him when same exact thing what Keith just said. Is the fact that once he realized that they'll release you, but they're going to ship you right back to another prison. You're too valuable.
Yep.
You guys, it was funny because someone had posted, why do they have all these prisoners doing all the work? They could just get droids to do it. And I like how they address it in this episode. We're cheaper
than droids. Yep.
And easily replaced.
Mm-hmm.
That was just showing how the Empire really is. And then I was totally shocked to find out that Mon Mothma's cousin is Vel.
Yeah, I did not see that coming.
That was a cool twist.
Yes. When they made the comment in the previous episode that she was a runaway rich girl, I did not piece together that meant that she was from Chandrila, or that she was related to Mon Mothma. I did not know. So, yeah, that makes me wonder who approached who first. Or did they both decide rebellion was
maybe
like
they're bestie cousins, and they they've always dreamed of creating a rebellion or something when they were younger.
Like I could see Mon Mothma still being like, oh no, I believe in the Senate and we're gonna fix things. The government will, and I think her cousin was more like, yeah, no, I'm gonna blow shit up.
And I mean, they even showed they've done a good job of showing Mon Mothma, who probably was very idealistic, and said we can do this via the Senate. I still have some power, and just as she's talking, just all the lights clicking off and nobody listening or caring. And,
yeah.
It ended with basically you have to make a deal with this warlord tyrant from your hometown to get money or you're going to get caught. And this is really that time where she finally realized.
What was the guy's name? Because I was like, that it's got to be some big character because they're throwing so much dread on his name.
Oh, it's Davo Sundon.
I wonder if he's part of Maul's organization.
Oh, that would be cool if he was part of. It wasn't Crimson Dawn back then, or was it Crimson Dawn?
Yeah, it was. Back then, because that would have been right around the same time. Now I don't know if he's still alive at this point, though.
Maul? Yeah, he is,
Yeah.
because he dies during Rebels. And Rebels is basically 5 years, so Maul has still got a year or two left out in the galaxy. Right. Now, I don't think we'll see Maul in this, but it'd be nice to have that little tie-in.
I would be perfectly fine not. Again, like I said, this show does not need lightsabers and space wizards. I'm totally cool with that not showing up. This is a really good show for what it is, and it still feels like Star Wars. I was talking to somebody else the other day about this. I like the weird focus on some of the like non-character things in this show, like the food and the drinks, and it's something that oh my god, writer of Game of Thrones,
George R.R. Martin.
George R.R. Martin is something that he does in his books where he'll try to world build while he's writing a chapter and tell you like all the different food items that are on the table and how they were cooked and everything. And I like that they're doing that with this show where they're showing the cereal and they're showing that other people drink blue milk too. It's not just on Tatooine, and they're showing that weird drink with the worm, and it's these little things that like otherwise might just go unnoticed that I think help build this greater Star Wars universe, and I appreciate it. But then again, the person that I was talking to said, "Oh, they're probably just advertising for their theme park and bar." I'm like, "Don't ruin this for me."
Exactly. It's building a deeper world always makes a greater story, because then you can have some side character you might have seen in an episode that they have a bigger role than you think, Yeah. So anybody could just emerge as a character or just stay in the background. They just got a deep world going. This guy, he could have he could be trusted to create another movie or another TV show after Andor, because we know Andor has an end date. It's too bad that it does, because it's so good. But I would trust him with another series, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Tony Gilroy's his name, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, the whole team that's been working on Andor is phenomenal. I've already praised the music on Twitter because I think it's just great. And I still need to look up, but I thought I heard whoever I can't think of the name off the top of my head, but the composer of the music for Andor, I think they wrote one of the songs that was in Tales of the Jedi, because it had one of the songs that they played during one of the Ahsoka stories had that kind of like wobbly synthy, feel to it, and I'm like, oh, that sounds really familiar. It sounds like something I would have heard in Andor. So I'll have to look up and see if they composed music for Tales of the Jedi too.
Well, I know Kevin Kinner did a lot of the music for Tales of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing, you were talking about the food. I loved that scene where like the one little piece of cereal is kind of rolling on the table.
Yeah.
And he makes
from
cereal, and he makes such a conscious effort of picking it up and throwing it in his bowl. Like, I need every scrap of this cereal for whatever reason. He's like the Jerry Seinfeld of the Star Wars galaxy. I thought that was such a nice little touch. There are little things they show the characters doing that.
Did I tell you that Disney and Lucasfilm finally revealed what that cereal is?
No, what is it?
So what they did was they bought boxes of special edition Trix that was made in conjunction with the Trolls World Tour movie. And they picked out the blue and purple pieces from those boxes. And that's the cereal that we see. And then I guess they just kind of color corrected it so it appears sort of like green and brown instead of blue and purple. But yeah.
It's funny you say that.
Wow.
No tricks.
So they're recovering. They're helping somebody else recover their money. Is what they're doing.
So we're going to go
You
to
guys blew
tangent
it,
time
we'll bail you out. Yeah.
because when I was younger, teenager, Tundra
Uh-huh.
Walker, who we know from the channel, he lived 3 houses down from me, and him and his family went on a vacation, like a weekend little getaway, and they were like, "Hey, can you walk the dog?" I'm like, "Absolutely." And so me and another friend went over to walk their dog, and then we saw that they had a brand new box of Lucky Charms. So we dumped the entire box out, ate all the marshmallows out of it, and then just put the cereal back in it. And I totally forgot. I totally forgot we did it. I was like dying laughing. And then Tundra Walker comes up to me like a week later or something, and he's like, "You won't believe what my brother did. He ate all the marshmallows out of the Lucky Charms." And then I just start laughing. I'm like, "It wasn't your brother." He's like, "What?" I'm like, "We did that." He's like, "Oh my God, I was so mad." He's like, "I go to bowl of poor cereal, and all it is the bad parts of it."
That's good. So, we theorized the last time we were talking Andor. We kind of theorized the whole prison break thing, and I think we forgot what show we were talking about. At least I did, because I forgot that, when it came to the whole heist episodes, it wasn't like, hey, we're going to plan it and then we're going to carry out in the next episode. They took like 3 episodes in order to, or 3 or 4 to like get through it all until it finally came about. And so I'm thinking, last episode that we got, he's in prison. Obviously, he's going to probably break out or something's going to happen the very next episode. That's not how Andor works. They still need to develop it. They still need to show you more about it. They need to really make you... it's almost like they're making us feel anxious about all of these prison scenes because he's still in there. He hasn't broken out yet. So, with that, do you gentlemen think that next episode will have him getting out, or are we still going to be in the planning phases?
No, I think they built it up with these last 3 episodes. I think they're ready to make the jump. What do you think, Keith?
Normally I'd say yes, but because this is Andor and I was tricked by the whole heist arc, I don't think they are. But I think what's going to happen is, we see a lot of these people becoming very disenchanted with what happened to them. And I think basically we're seeing characters that will join the rebellion once they're out. They're going to see how the Empire, basically, I'm sure a lot of them went to prison based on false pretenses, not getting a fair trial, and then the whole basically learning, you're not getting out of here. We're just using you for labor because you're cheaper than droids and more, more disposable. So I think we may see Kino and a few other guys that are part of his gang become rebels. We may, I don't know how much of Cassian being a rebel we're going to see, not this season, but next season. I don't know how much we're going to see of him being an actual rebel, but I think we may see some of these other guys join it with him. And we may see him for a few episodes, and then they may be doing something else, or they may die. But I think he's unwittingly recruiting for the rebellion in there, as he's being sort of pushed that way too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm
he
curious
doesn't seem to. He wants to get out. I don't know if he cares that anybody else gets out, but he doesn't care if they don't either. He won't be like, no, don't come with me. He's going to need some help to get out. But once he gets out, I'm sure he doesn't care about hanging out with any of them. You know what I'm saying?
He doesn't seem like the type of person who is really... It surprises me that he will eventually join the Rebel Alliance because, he doesn't seem like a joiner. I've had enough of people.
No, I think we may get a speech like we got from Skarsgård guy. L'Oreal. I can't remember his name. Lauren, yes. When he was telling Saw Gerrera, and he was like, "Listen, the Empire is going to keep getting stronger and stronger. If we don't do something now, we won't be able to." And I think he's going to be able to convince Cassian, hey, I know you don't want to be a part of this, and I know you're a man, but we need you. You've got skills, and they're needed if we ever want to basically topple the Empire. I think that's why we're seeing all the crap that he's going through, is because that's what's going to convince him to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that makes sense.
Kind of like Han Solo. You know, Han Solo was just a smuggler, and then they got him involved, and next thing you know, he's, shooting at Darth Vader.
Right.
Yeah, the only reason he was working for them is because he owed Jabba so much money. He's like, well, might as well work with these guys. Maybe they'll keep me safe. Maybe one day I'll be frozen in carbonite, and I'll need some people to come get me out of Jabba's palace. Sorry, spoiler alert. That's 3 movies past Rogue One.
4.
You guys got to stop spoiling this stuff for me. You know I haven't seen a Star Wars.
A Star War?
He hasn't even seen one of them yet. Multiple.
I haven't even seen a single Star Wars yet.
But I am looking forward to next week's, and I don't know. I was thinking about, are we going to see Saw Gerrera anymore this year? Because I was convinced at one point that they were basically a rebel attack was going to get them out of the prison, but I no longer think that. I think that they are gathering information because you could see whatever Andor was doing in the bathroom. You get that down.
Oh, and he was like kind of like carving away at I have no idea.
He's been working on it for a while with that other guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that other guy left the thing there for him.
Yep.
And they're like talking. Oh, look, when the thing comes down, he doesn't have, his boots on or whatever. That's anything that moves is not electrified. So they're already just figuring out as much as they can to help. Obviously they're not all going to escape, but they're giving themselves the best odds to get a bunch of people out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think
I think he did figure out the whole hand communication thing too.
Whether he knows what they're saying, because he was asking him, "What are you saying? What are you saying?"
Yeah, and Kino was in on it too. I thought Kino would be like, "Stop," but he was like, "What's he saying?" That was before he even saw the guy who died from the stroke.
Mm-hmm.
He still wanted to know what are they talking about? What are you talking about?
Yeah, he wants to know. Anyone wants to know gossip that's going around, even though it's not really gossip, I guess, in a prison like that. But they want to know what's going on. There's so much rumors about what's going on level 2. He wants to know too. But I actually do have a little theory on what I think is going to happen. A little something for the last 3 episodes of the this wonderful series. I think
3 episodes left.
I know
Three.
then 15, but 3 left in season 1. I think the ISB agent is getting closer and closer to figure. Obviously, she tortured Bix, who probably gave up information. She knows the last time he saw her. He knows he was clean shaven.
Yep.
She probably also gave up the fact that he was going somewhere warm or somewhere. I don't think he told her exactly where, but he told her he was going to live off that money and not worry about anything. And I think she's going to basically...
That would tie him directly to the heist.
Yes. And she's going to eventually figure out where he went. She's going to show up there. She's going to figure out he was going under this alias. She's going to figure out he was in prison. She's going to find out what prison he's in. And that's when he's going to be gone. It's like going to be like her putting it all together. And
like
he's
a cat
going
and
to
mouse chase thing.
he's going to break out right before she's on her way. Or right as she figures it out, she's going to call in and go, hey, you've got Keith so-and-so. Not anymore. They just had a huge prison break. And she's just going to be like, no!
How great would it be if her shuttle was arriving and docking at the prison as they were flying off in an escape pod or something, and she's looking out the window.
Wait, I just got the no Consuelo voice from Sierra. Is that to my theory, or...
No.
Oh, no.
No, Mr. Superman not home.
No.
Consuela.
No, he's not going to break up prison, no.
Both.
Now, nah.
I got a question for both of you.
Okay.
So, I don't know if this was ever mentioned in any of the Darth Vader novels or comics about, how these prisons function and everything, because I don't know if they've gone into detail about this before Andor. I think it might have been mentioned in Rebels in an episode, but I don't remember them mentioning it anywhere else. We know that Anakin is very much against slavery in the galaxy, and that was one of the things like he insisted that Palpatine do away with. Do you think he would consider the way these prisoners are being treated as just slavery under a different name? Or do you think he would see it as the Empire doing what it must?
I think he would see it as their prisoners, and they should be performing this hard labor. I don't think he would see it as slavery. Now, if he found out they weren't really releasing people and all that other stuff, he might be a little irked, but I don't think he would change because he sees, the ends justify the means. Whatever they're building, it's helping the Empire maintain order within the galaxy.
And at this point, how far gone is he? I mean, there's a point where he hits the lowest, where he doesn't care about nothing. Is he still on his way down, or is he on his way back up, like in Return of the Jedi?
Oh, he's probably pretty down to the bottom at this point. He's ready to start choking people out over Zoom. So
I think he was at his worst in The Empire Strikes Back. That's
yeah.
Had nothing.
No, you're absolutely
Nothing
right
to
about
look
that.
at this.
Do not fail me.
I'm what, right?
Okay.
Absolutely right.
No, the tag-along thought I was going to have a minute ago was just that, if Vader showed up. But that's stupid. We all already agreed that this is not a Vader or any previous character show, really.
I think I'd be pretty disappointed if
be
a Jedi showed up in any way.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did it, because we know that Disney sometimes gets cold feet and they like to they like to, shove things in that people recognize and know in order to make sure, okay, people, look, here's Luke, make sure you watch it. It's
And
like everybody's already watching The Mandalorian, but,
I think the TIE fighters on Andor, that was enough.
Oh, yeah, that works for me.
Say hi.
Bommy wants to say hi? Okay.
His name is Brad.
Ba-bam!
I'm nicknamed Brad.
Okay. You going to bed? Can I have a hug?
We go to bed in a long time.
Okay.
Have him
Love
say,
you, little man.
happy anniversary, not your status quo.
Oh, Sully, come here. Can you say happy anniversary, not your status quo?
Happy anniversary, not a star quo.
Thanks, buddy.
All right.
Mommy.
Excellent.
Mommy.
We'll make sure we add a bonus in the chat.
Do.
We're gonna double his pay.
Yep.
And it looks like there's a little animosity in the chat. It seems like inflation is hitting.
What?
People are upset
You were
that
better when your prices were lower. Well, we are reaping record profits for our company. So
Hey, look, there's a limitation, there's shipping issues. You got to understand it from our point of view, okay? Like, it is really hard to get the supply and the demand, and so we really had to raise prices, and it has nothing to do with the fact that we're all going on vacation to Hawaii. That has nothing to do with it, I promise.
and it has nothing to do with Biden. He's fine. He's got nothing to do with our decisions.
And Sierra's agreeing with Tundra Walker. I think we have full-on rebellion in our chat right now. Oh, and Dinky Soul Man.
Oh God, they're starting a rebellion.
It's mutiny, people. But thank you, Dinky Man Soul. He said, "Happy birthday, nerds." Thank you, buddy.
Yes, thank
Aw. Well, you know what we need to do then. Clearly, Sierra, she probably committed a crime. There was a robbery I heard about, and I think she might have been standing near the place that was robbed. So we're gonna have to ship her off to a prison to do video editing for us. And Tundra Walker, he's
You know what Tundra Walker would be good at? He'd be good at making shirts.
That's a great idea. All right. It's a shame that he committed so many treasonous crimes that we're going to have to send him to the shirt factory, but, it's a win-win, really. He'll get, re-educated and learn the error of his ways.
Like, Sierra, you got to catch me first.
Yeah, we're old. We may not be able to do that. But don't worry. Your sentence will be for 250 days. We'll have a little countdown thing for you. So, you'll know when you're going to get out. And
Oh, God, it's a Martha.
Only Tundra Walker, only if they're of Deadpool saying Martha.
No, he was probably going to make Ben Affleck Wonder Man shirts and Ben Affleck Daredevil shirts. And oh, man, we got to rethink this. We need to figure out a little better what we should do because, one, we cannot let this mutiny in the chat continue. It's just unacceptable. Mm-hmm. But two, we need to get better punishments because what we thought of would ruin us. No one would buy the Ben Affleck Wonder Man shirts.
No.
But speaking of Wonder Man, did you guys hear who might be joining the Wonder Man Disney Plus series?
No. Who?
Are you saying the lead role was cast? Because I did see that.
No, the lead role has supposedly been cast, hasn't been confirmed yet, but it's Black Manta. It's nice because I can't think of his name. It's like Yahi. What is it, Dave?
No, I couldn't think of it either.
Oh, but he was Black Manta in Aquaman. He did a great job. He was Dr. Manhattan in Watchmen on HBO.
Oh, he's
now,
a good actor.
Yeah, now he's going to be Wonder Man, so he's getting a little more powerful with each role. First Black Manta, then Dr. Manhattan, and then Wonder Man. But
well,
hold up. I'm sorry. Are you saying Wonder Man is more powerful than Dr. Manhattan?
Yeah.
No, there's no way.
No, nothing
Absolutely
is more
not. There's no way.
No, he is. Just trust me. You'll see it when the show comes out. But
Yakov Smirnoff.
In Russia, we don't have freedom. But the rumor that was circulating today, once again, totally unconfirmed, may not happen, but I really hope it does. The rumor is that Bob Odenkirk is going to be joining the Wonder Man series.